Hey there, welcome back to another episode on the athomedive YouTube channel. As always, my name is Joey, and today we're in the kitchen, but we're doing something totally different than what we usually do. Today, we're not going to be making a video on food. We are going to be making a video on utensils that we use when we make food, because Christmas time's coming, and a lot of these are going to make perfect stocking stuffers or small gifts to those people that you want to give something to, but you don't want to break the bank. So we're going to go over several of my favorite things that I always try to keep nearby when I'm in the kitchen that will cost you less than $20. So sit back, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive right in. The first thing we're going to talk about today is rubber spatulas. These are both Volrith rubber spatulas. I also like the Rubbermaid ones quite well. This is the 9 and the 13.5 inch spatulas. And you can find both of these on Amazon. The large one is going to run you about $13.62 right now on Amazon. Of course, the price may change a little bit. And the smaller one I only found, you can get the pack of 2 for $21.35. They're both really handy for raking out bowls or pans or getting sauces out of things or every single thing you can think of where you're trying to get that last little bit of everything. The rubber spatula is going to be perfect. It's going to end up saving you a fortune in the end. While we're on the subject of spatulas, we have here the Winco fish spatula or the fish turner. This is not something that you're going to use every day, but it's actually perfect for the job that it's made for, and it's perfect for a lot of other stuff too. I use this for so many things aside from turning fish that it's almost ridiculous, but this is always one of those things that you want to have really handy at any given time. On Amazon right now, that's running $7.89, and just like every other item on the table today, I'm going to put the link to that in the description below. Next thing we're going to talk about is slotted spoons. I have a lot of spoons. Anybody that knows me well knows that I have a massive collection of spoons, probably too many. But you can never have too many slotted spoons, and that's for sure. There's quite a range in the price gaps here, and honestly just the quality altogether. If somebody's not going to use the spoons every day, you know, you can consider getting something like this, which I'm pretty sure I bought at Walmart for around $1.50, and it does a really good job. Or if you want something that feels good in your hand, if you're going to use it all the time, if you're going to use it several times a day, Mercer makes a really nice slotted spoon, as well as many other companies. But this slotted spoon here, you can buy on Amazon right now for $9. And that sounds like a lot for a spoon at first, but if it's something you're going to end up using every day, it may be worth it to go ahead and buy a decent quality one. The next item is going to seem like a no-brainer in a way. There's a lot of variance when it comes to this product. These are a pair of Winco 10-inch kitchen tongs. Sizing is really all up to preference. I prefer 10-inch because it's kind of middle of the road. If you do a lot of grilling or something like that, maybe you go with like a really long one, like a 16-inch tong or something like that to keep your hands away from the heat. But really, the main thing you want to focus on whenever you go to choose these is going to be the quality. A lot of these tongs are made really poorly and for household use. These are dirt cheap at restaurant supply stores. Literally, these tongs are less than $2 at restaurant supply stores, but if you buy them online, they're a little bit more expensive. These tongs right here, you can get a set of 3 for $11.99 shipped to your house from Amazon. A lot of that comes back to shipping, processing, and things like that, where restaurant supply stores are just more in bulk sales. But this is a way better option than buying the, say, $7.99 option that's really going to fall apart, and it may have a few frills and a few nice features to it, but it's probably not going to last nearly as long. I've had these tongs for several years, and it's always handy to have an extra pair around to pick up hot things or food or whatever you need to do. These are a very universal tool, so always keep them handy. The next thing we're going to talk about is going to be a microplane zester. There are plenty of zesters out there, but a microplane is one of those name brands that you really want to make sure you get. It's like the KitchenAid of zesters, if you will. These things are fantastic, and they're designed for citrus zesting, but they're not just good for that. You can shave all kinds of things with these, whether it's chocolate covered espresso beans or nutmeg or anything you need to, really. These microplanes are the way to go. So make sure you get one of these. You can pick these up from Amazon for $14.95 is exactly what this one costs, and you will not regret that at all. The next thing we're going to talk about is going to be a cake tester. This may seem like an odd one. I don't do an incredible amount of baking, but I always keep these cake testers around. And honestly, I've used them for everything except cake testing, to be fair. I like these because they're thin metal. And they're really handy to see if something's warm on the inside, or if you want to know if something's fully cooked. You can put this inside, let it hang out for just a second, and then pull it out, and it'll let you know if it's warm or if it needs to keep cooking or what have you. And also if you're looking for resistance, so like whenever you cook fish, and you can push these right into it, and if you feel a lot of resistance, you know that the fish isn't cooked. But if you slide it in gently and there is no resistance, you know that the fish is perfectly cooked. And that's a good way to tell before it starts pushing out all the white proteins and things like that let you know that it's overcooked. So these, you can get them in a pack of 3 for $7 off Amazon, or I think you can get them around $12 for a 12 pack. And you can buy the nice ones with the cover as I'm showing you here. You can get a 3-pack for $10.99 if you're looking for something a little bit nicer. And that may be a good option if you're looking for something that's just a little bit more special than something like this to gift, but these work just fine. The next thing we're going to touch base on is going to be the Ateco bowl scraper. You can buy these from like several brands. Winco makes nice ones, things like that. It's literally just a piece of thin plastic. It is nice hard plastic. You can get them a little bit softer than this. These fit in your pocket nicely, and they work really well for picking up things and transferring. Is probably what I use mine more for than anything. I don't actually use them to scrape bowls that often, even though it is a bowl scraper. And it's just so versatile. You can use it for so many things. These on Amazon are going to run you $3.57 for 2 of them. And in a restaurant supply store, you can probably pick these up for about 30 cents, maybe 40 cents. At the most, $1. It never hurts to pick one of these up. And if you do find yourself at a restaurant supply store, if you cook a lot, honestly, I would go ahead and grab a couple of them. That way you can throw them in drawers and things like that. If you throw them in your utensil drawer, I always have about 3 around whenever I'm cooking. And that way if I drop one or whatever, I can just throw it right in the dish, and I can just grab another one. The next item on the table is going to be a pastry brush. And as you can see, yes, it does look a lot like a paintbrush, and they have a lot of similar qualities. You could probably even get by with a cheap paintbrush if you wanted to, but having an actual pastry brush is quite nice. You can get these in about any size that you can imagine, as wide or narrow as you want. I think this is about 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches, and this one has lasted me several years, and I like it quite well. It's really comfortable, and I've used it so much. It's great for butter brushing or water brushing anything before you bake it or after. And this one right here you can actually find on Amazon for $6.50, and I'll be sure to put the link to it in the description, just like every other product on the table. And this one has done me really well, no complaints there at all. The next item is a pair of kitchen scissors. This is a really small pair. This is a knockoff brand mimicked after the Joyce Chins, but I really like these quite well. I gave $3 for these at an Asian market in New Orleans. And I love them. I've actually had these for years. I've had a few pair, and they have broke before, but this is the nicer of the pairs that they sell there, and it's a whole whopping $3. And I love these. These have done so much for me and helped me out of so many situations. Just really handy to have around for certain situations where you don't necessarily want to use a knife, so you don't want to damage things, or if you're making small cuts, things like that, or string, things like that, where you're going to be cutting twine. Sometimes scissors are actually notably nicer to use than a knife, and a lot of times quite a bit safer too. You can find a pair of good kitchen scissors on Amazon for $7 or so. Very handy to have around. If somebody cooks a lot, they probably have knives that they love to use and things like that, and they probably take really good care of. The next item is something that I really don't take good care of, just to be honest with you, and that's why I love them so much. These are 2 paring knives that I just happen to have in the drawer. This one here is a Dexter paring knife, and as you can see, it's on Amazon. One very similar to it for $9.26. And this one here is the Victorinox knife that's in the picture for $9.74. And these knives I do absolutely everything with. Everything from scoring dough to cutting on the countertop, all kinds of things that you're not really even supposed to use a knife for. These knives are perfect because you can use them where you want to use a knife, but you don't have to worry about damaging one of your good knives. And these things are true workhorses. I've had both of these for years, used them inappropriately so many times, straight up abused, and they have never let me down. They work so well. And they're made of a cheaper metal. Kind of sounds like a bad thing because they don't keep a great edge forever, but you can throw these on a diamond steel and they'll come back to razor sharp really fast and really easy. True workhorse. Don't overlook these. The next item I have here on the table is the Ateco small offset spatula. These are perfect for everything except icing. You don't really want to ice many things with this. It can get you through a small pinch if you're making something like a tiramisu where it doesn't need to look very good, but you really just need to work it like a spatula. But these are so perfect for plating and making things actually look really nice. And they can be quite handy for like cutting certain things. You can use it a lot like a butter knife, or you can use it to separate things from pans, the edges from the pans, things like that. These are quite handy in so many situations, and you can find these on Amazon for $6.98. It's really not going to put you out too much, and it's really handy to have around. If you're in the kitchen a lot, you know that it's never bad to have a scale around. This is the scale that I use. It is an Azeri scale, and it cost me $13.96 on Amazon. I've had this scale for about 5 years, and I've only replaced the batteries in it twice. So this is something that I use several times a week. It's not something I use every day, to be honest with you. And it really helps if you're doing recipes that have been brought to America, or in a lot of high-end situations, they measure in the gram system. And the scale is absolutely worth every single penny when you need one. The next item on the table is probably going to be no surprise. It is a vegetable peeler. But it's not just any vegetable peeler. I don't know how to actually pronounce the name of this brand, but I'm going to spell it. It's Kuhnrikon. And these are made in Switzerland. They are very inexpensive, and they work very well, and they last quite a long time. They are made of high carbon steel, so you want to make sure that you don't leave them wet. You want to dry them very well and things like that, because they will rust. But if you halfway take care of them, these things will actually last you forever. I've had plenty of peelers from Williams-Sonoma. I've had ceramic peelers. I've had $10 peelers. I've had $30, $40 vegetable peelers even. And these are absolutely the way to go in my opinion. And they're not expensive at all. On Amazon, a 3-pack will put you out $13.99. And that is not bad at all for something that you're going to use several times a day. Peeling anything from eggplants, carrots, potatoes, all kinds of stuff. Or even if you want to shave cheese with one of these, you can totally do that. You can do so many things with one of these. And if you buy them individually at most restaurant supply stores, you can pick up the same exact brand in almost any color that you can imagine for around $3. So make sure you don't overlook those either. The next thing on the list is silicone baking mats. And as you can see, they come in all different sizes here, a bunch of different shapes. You can get them with different designs on them. They really are a key item if you do a lot of baking especially. You can use these for so many things, and anytime you're baking, it's going to help a lot creating a natural non-stick environment on any pan that you're going to bake with, as well as mitigating a lot of the cleanup. If you have something that's messy, bake it on a sill pad, and then you're not going to be sitting there scrubbing your pans for hours. You can literally take these and spray them off with high pressure hot water, and a lot of times they'll rinse almost nearly completely clean. And then you can just hit them with a little bit of soapy water. These things last forever, and they're typically pretty expensive, to be honest with you. But if you can see here, these are the ones that are on Amazon.com right now for $19.99, and you can get them with a few different designs, as I mentioned. Definitely consider getting someone you care about one of these. Those are my favorite things that I found with a direct link to for less than $20 that I keep really handy at all times in the kitchen. Most of these things I use about every single day. Some things I don't use quite every day, but at least multiple times a week. Whenever I'm in a professional kitchen, every single day, I use every single item on this table. Honorable mention, because it is slightly over $20. This is a Japanese mandolin. This is the Behringer brand, and they run you about $22.76 right now on Amazon. They really come in quite handy for slicing any kind of vegetable or even some fruits and things like that. They come with the additional blades that you can put in the julienne blade or the fine julienne blade, and you can slice your carrots or whatever you need to. These are absolutely one of the best purchases that you can make for the money. You can get all kinds of use out of one of these, but make sure you're careful when you use it. Alright guys, well that wraps us up on today's video. I hope that you found something in here you like, and just remember that every single item here, I'm going to put a link for you to purchase it on Amazon.com in the description below. You may be able to find it somewhere a little bit cheaper if you can get away from the Amazon because of the shipping and the packaging and things like that. But this is an easy way to find it without you having to leave your home for the holidays. Or you can send it directly to most of your friends for free if you have Amazon Prime. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Happy holidays.